Yeah, this week's design and build is a material storage rack in this funny teeny space made out of funny old material. And I shouldn't be making a storage rack this week. Of course, it's important for any practice to work on collecting the tools needed and developing the space required that benefits the process, but there's an important balance to be struck between getting ready to work and working. All my labor for the last 3 weeks building out an entirely new digital workstation and this entire storage rigmarole for the studio's online store. It ends this week. Material storage rack and buttoning up everything else facility related. Doable? We will see, but new project work begins next week, ready or not. Hugo agrees. Good boy. Before I begin to fabricate this lumber rack, another little something I want to tackle. This work light, which I installed for this cabinet, is awkwardly mounted. I didn't have a horizontal surface for it to go on. I've been hitting my head on it as I've been coming in and out to start thinking about this lumber rack. I found another light I love. It is positionable. It's a smaller form factor. I don't have a place to mount it either. However, peculiar drawers have become a theme of this bit of furniture, so I'm going to try something. As a great friend of mine famously said while driving his 1980s LTD wagon, fasten your seatbelts, I'm gonna try something. One other thing has had to happen on our way to making this material rack. Some of this vent piping needed to be rerouted in order to place this storage unit in the right spot to line up with the rack, like so. Great, great, great. As I was saying before we were so rudely interrupted by making something, I feel like I have been spending too much time over the last several weeks getting ready to work versus working. Part of the reason I feel that way is that I have something resembling a philosophy around tool acquisition and studio shop infrastructure development. Maybe not a philosophy, guiding principles. Hello. Hey, that's for me. Great, thank you. Yeah, you too. So, as if on schedule to make me feel even more self-reflective about acquiring tools, another one has arrived. So, the slight bender I've been on with studio infrastructure improvements continue with a little item for this work surface. This workbench of mine is beautiful but uneven, with cracks all through it and holes drilled in it. On occasion, a work surface benefits from a smoother surface to work from. My buddy Adam Savage, on his primary workbench in his shop, has a piece of leather on the table. His is fabulously weathered and worn in from years of use. Mine's going to be brand new, and I've always liked his leather workbench. Yeah. That'll relax and flatten out after a while, but that's a nice piece of leather. Maybe a little big, but we'll let it be big until the day comes when it feels like it needs to be smaller for a practical reason. While I'm coming clean on my tool acquisition spree, a few weeks ago, I made a film about the update of this digital workstation. I got myself a leather mat for it as well, which functions as a giant mouse pad, allowing me to go anywhere, move over here, work on the Wacom, move over here, work on the monitors. I updated my ergonomic mouse that I've used forever to be a wireless version of my favorite keyboard, and this station is wrapped up. I'm happy to say its functionality is notably improved. Video editing here, which I've been doing a lot of lately, is a joy. My thoughts on tool acquisition and workspace infrastructure improvements. This line of thinking largely has evolved from a lifetime of working in fields that are gear heavy. Music, photography, filmmaking, construction, woodworking. At every turn, I've been faced with magnificent pieces of hardware, tools, and workspaces to service these interests of mine. And what that frequently leads to is that familiar feeling of intense desire to acquire some tool or make a workspace a little bit more organized, a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more efficient. And what that can easily result in is A, precious lost time not doing the things that all that stuff is supposed to support, and B, a lot of wasted money. Time and money. The countermeasure to deploy is to, at all times, heavily prioritize in every way you can the core work. The projects sitting on the lists. If you have, say, an urge to make a short film, yeah, a nice camera would be great. What I've tried to do is get started on the thing, in this case a film, borrow a camera, use a phone. If you get around to being able to make a second short film, and the process of making film turns out to be meaningful to you, engaging, valuable, then you're in a much better position to think about getting a better camera. Or even better, start making that second short film, and when you really hit a dead end, you can't accomplish what you want to accomplish, and a piece of gear is needed to get you there, then you can consider that piece of gear. Or on the infrastructure side of things, say, purely hypothetically, that you feel like your workbench could use another light. Well, get to work on a task slated for that workbench, and during some actual work, if it turns out that you're having a hard time seeing, then update the lighting but fold it into that project. Address that specific issue within the context of finishing the task at hand. Maybe another way of saying all that is no aspirational stuff purchasing or environment tweaking. I'm pretty good with stuff control. I don't own too many things that aren't in heavy use. Workspace fine-tuning to the detriment of general productivity, I might have a problem in that arena. If that's not readily apparent. That workbench lighting story / metaphor wasn't pulled from nowhere. Last night I spent several hours repairing, cleaning up this lamp and installing it here on the workbench. Is it necessary? Questionable. Looks great, though, doesn't it? This would look better, more balanced, if I had a leg coming down on the right-hand side, but it is already so small that that leg would take up material space and it's not structurally necessary. I think once there's material in here, that lopsidedness will disappear. Memberships make the wheels go round on this little channel. If you're interested, check out benefits in the members link in the description. And big thanks to all my members out there. And late-breaking design change. Not much of my odd assortment of commonly used materials are a full 4 feet tall. So, splitting this up to handle shorter material, if this will go in. Yeah. All right then. One more really quick thing. I know. You see, now I can get to work doing substantive things, like rewiring these vinyl accessories so that they light up. This looks great though, doesn't it? Yeah. Hey, post-credit sequence. Frequent viewers of this channel may have noticed a slightly different editing style for the last 15 minutes. And credit where credit is due, a terrific channel that if anyone in my audience doesn't already know him, you should check him out, Evan Monsma. Similar to my world, he edits his films very differently, and I kind of gave it a try. Split the difference, perhaps. In any case, check out Evan if you don't know him, and thanks everybody.